Namaste, everyone. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome back to your favorite show with your favorite bro. It is season 3, episode 7B of Quick Takes, and it goes down now. All right, let's get it off. Starting off on Thursday. Uh, dubbed the Icy Hot Bowl, 240-year-old quarterbacks. Unfortunately for us, Steelers defense kind of came out like they're the 40-year-olds and could not guard anybody. The little nugget that we dropped about how Steelers offense was 72% all, yards after catch. Bengals were not that great at that. They benched Cam Taylor-Britt. DJ Turner does his thing. Their defense plays phenomenally. Steelers defense looks non-existent. And the Bengals win. So, 0-1 on Thursday Night Football, 51-42-1 for the season. So we got to kick it off right. Sunday Slate, 12 games. And let's go deep dive into it right now. All right. Teams on bye this week. It is the Buffalo Bills after their humbling, I think is probably the best way to say it. Lost to the Falcons on Monday Night Football. And, you know, it is the Baltimore Ravens, who I would hope after this week have, at the very least, Lamar Jackson back. You got Roquan Smith, you got Kyle Hamilton. I mean, they are littered with injury. Shout out to Nnamdi Madubuike. I know he's out for the whole year. I hope he comes back, at least plays a few more years um, before, if he is, like to retire. Because like guys, big guys especially, it doesn't matter when you want to retire. It's when your body tells you to retire. So I hope it's not, anything physical that Namdi has to deal with long term. And yeah, I hope he's back too. Great players help make great games. So never complain with him. But kicking off, 4-2 Rams traveling all the way. Talk about Baltimore. They were in Baltimore. That's the last team that the Ravens lost to before their bye, and they flew out from Camden Gardens. They threw out a couple pitches there. They had a late flight, I want to say, out to London, England. In this one, it is not at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is at the iconic Wembley. And in this one, this game should be going down right now if it has not finished. We already know. We have not checked it out. We did not, see the scoreline already. If you don't believe me, just go back and watch the old stuff. Go back and watch the old episodes of Quick Takes, season 3, season 2, both on YouTube. Season 1 only exclusively on Instagram. Go back and watch Jump Out. Go back and watch Football Frenzy. The newest episode's out as well. Yeah, like go watch. Tell me I'm not a man of my word, and didn't come and question me about this pick. But to the real ones, you already know how it is. 4-2 Rams, 4-2 Jaguars. We made this picks last night, and in this one, we are rocking out with the Jags. Why do I say that? Because, like I mentioned, Rams have not been home in like essentially 2 weeks. They flew out from West Coast, I want to say 2 weeks ago, essentially a week and a half ago, really. Then they went, for Baltimore, had that happen, stayed there a few days, almost a week, and then headed out to London. Your body got to get acclimated there, all of that. You're going from West Coast all the way out there for the Jaguars. I mean, London's essentially their second home. Everybody jokes that if NFL Europe is to return or to be expanded upon, send the Jaguars to London, like location. Like it used to be a running jokes of the 2010s, early 2020s. Now Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence are showing that they are not a joke, and it is Duval time now. It doesn't matter if it was Duval, it's Duval now. So y'all better get with the program. In this one, I think after Arsenal actually just beat Fulham yesterday 1-0, so it was a close affair in that one. This one I see the same thing happening without Puka Nakua. I think it's still a close matchup. You still have Kyron Williams, you still have Devontae Adams, you still have Matthew Stafford. So with all those additions, you're supposed to, at least be competitive at the very least. Um, Not having Rob Havenstein actually kind of does hinder them in the offensive line aspect as well. So there's a lot of different things. I think whoever can hold on to the ball in terms of time of possession, running the ball, get some bootlegs out possibly for Trevor Lawrence, get Travis Hunter some balls, pause some catches early. You have Brian Thomas Jr. So you have pieces. You got Greg Newsome, who in his first game, I want to say struggled. That's kind of keeping it light, but yeah, that's what happened. He's gonna gel with his defensive back mates more, and in this one, I think Jaguars come back, get the revenge for Fulham yesterday. Connor does his thing. Saints at the Bears to kick us off in the States, and in this one, I got to roll with the Chicago Bears at home. I feel like there is a little culture shift, a mentality shift, whatever it is. There is a little shift with Ben Johnson now because they beat the Raiders 25-24. They won last week 25-24. And I'm saying last season, they are bound to lose these games. We watched it all across last season. We saw them not coming back. We saw the Commanders game. And we saw them lose that one. Same thing, like I said, this year. I think, this is not the same team of last year. This is not the same coaching staff of last year. They are going to want that revenge for last year with that Hail Mary. And they came out, got their revenge. It was a close affair, 1 point game, but they came out with a win. And that's what matters the most. Spencer Rattler against Caleb Williams, a guy with one win as a pro starter against, once dubbed, the next Patrick Mahomes, the next great one, and all of that. So, I got to roll out with Caleb Williams in this one. If you look at the weapons that he has, I mean, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, just like an afterthought now. I think, maybe the Raiders or somebody else, if they want to trade for him on the low, I think that can be opened up there. Luther Burden there just to give him another factor. And yeah, it should be interesting to see how DJ Moore navigates his career in the offseason. I don't see them kind of trading him right now, but definitely in the offseason, there could be conversations to be had. Saints on the other side, once they lose this one before trade deadline day, there's going to be questions about, a wholesale fire sale. Alvin Kamara already came out talking about retirement. Big bro Cam Jordan, come on home. Come to the Raiders, please. Hopefully that stabilizes us. Hopefully Gino stops throwing picks, and we'll come back to that in just a second. But yeah, come on over to the Silver and Black. Chris Olave, looks like you're going for an extension. Go get your bag. I won't say nothing. And yeah, outside of that, what do they really have anymore? Moving on, Panthers at the Jets, because yeah, Saints just Jets now, on the other hand, do have some hope. And while they are 0-6, I am rocking out with them in this matchup. Yes, Panthers are 3-3. Their O-line is actually starting to look dominant at some points. If I'm not too, getting ahead of myself to crown them that. I think it gets down to running the ball, stopping the run. I said that last week. Come on, Aaron Glenn. Come on, man. I feel like I've gone 3-3, or I mean, I've you know gone with Jets winning 3 times, gone with Jets losing 3 times. I don't remember off the top of my head. Last week, I remember going for the Jets against the Broncos. Boy, did that not come out on my side. But at the same time, it was not completely offense's fault. It was the offensive line's fault because they couldn't keep Justin Fields upright. The offense looked anemic. Yeah, if you can't beat the Panthers in this one, you might go defeated. So this is kind of like maybe my last hope. So you know what? Yeah, Jets. Let's just kind of show that fire that we don't want to go defeated. We are defeated so far, but this is not. This does not reflect us as a football team. I need to see that. Yeah. Mm-mm. Moving on. Talk about I need to see something. Eagles at the Vikings. I need to see something. Eagles. Offensive line wise, Landon Dickerson has nagging injuries. Cam Jurgens is not Jason Kelsey. Right guard Mekhi Becton was 6'6", 6'7", 320 20, I want to say, like on a light day, like a behemoth of a human being next to Lane Johnson. Now it's Tyler Steen, who second, third year. Yeah, he was probably a national champion at Georgia. Mm, Still does not, give you that confidence that every time you had with a Jason Kelsey, with, Makai Becton or Brandon Brooks, if you want to go back in those days, like at right guard. So gotta show me something. Also, talk about nagging injuries on the other side. Jalen Carter, that first game he did not play. Since then, like there has been nagging injuries for him too. He's missed a game, possibly, I think, due to injuries. He does not play as much as you want him to play. He doesn't play every snap because he is slightly out of shape. Being a national champion, all of that at Georgia, coming into the league, first year winning the Super Bowl. I feel like, I might be speaking out of my ass, but he might be feeling himself a little bit, possibly. I don't blame him, but it's not about what you did last year. You were a Super Bowl champion, but there's gonna be a new Super Bowl champion this year, and is that gonna be you? The way that the team's looking currently, the answer looks to be no. So, it's gonna be a hard hitting matchup. It's in the NFC North. It is indoors, however, so it's a give or take matchup. I will roll out with the Vikings in this one. Being at home, Carson Wentz revenge game. Also, let me mention some stats about this beef up defense. Golly. Top five in yards, allowing about 290 yards per game. Uh, Top 10 in pressure, fifth in points against per game, second in rushing allowed. So Saquon should be contained even without Van Ginkel being in the game, unfortunately, with his injury. Um, I do believe Hitman Harrison Smith's back, so hopefully, his leadership kind of further. Well, their defense is already legit, so I don't want to say further legitimizes it, but also further stabilizes it, maybe, because Byron Murphy on one side, you have Isaiah Rodgers on the other side. They're still finding their home, but Harrison Smith's been up there for over 14 years, so that's been his thing. And then probably the best stat of them all, if you are a Vikings fan, on third down, they are the fourth best at allowing only 35.6%. So I think with all of that, with the likes Jonathan Allen being added to the Vikings defensive line, being he was in Washington, knows the division, knows the tush push, and all of that. Adding some additions like Will Fries on their offensive line, getting your prize left tackle in Christian Darrisaw back. So there's a lot of things going right for the Vikings at the moment. Should be getting back JJ McCarthy possibly next week. We will see what happens there with his medical update. But yeah, in this one, I think Eagles, there might be some changes that need to be happening. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, if it's, another cornerback. Talk about another cornerback. It's going to be Jordan Addison. It is going to be Justin Jefferson. It is going to be TJ Hawkinson. And they are going to be taking on Quinyon Mitchell. Solid. But after that, Adoree Jackson been getting, picked on the other side. Is it going to be Jacorian Bennett? I do believe he's still on IR or hurt. So who's going to be matching up on the other side? The matchup between Hawkinson and your Reed Blankenship and, Cooper DeJean, those should be interesting. But outside of that, on the outside, you know, those guys just showed up in Cincinnati essentially. Like if you have two wide receivers, they are going to do some damage depending on how the other defense shows. And Eagles defense, like I mentioned, have been able to been bendable and breakable this year. Moving on, it is the Patriots, it is the Titans. Then this one, gotta rock out with the Patriots. Vrabel goes into Tennessee, gets his revenge. Drake May, I mean, he's, top five definitely in the MVP conversation. Stephon Diggs is doing this thing. There's still some, questions around. I think Keishawn Booty, he's doing his thing as well. Shout out to the boy. Hunter Henry doing his thing. So I like I mentioned, I just gave you at least three weapons for Drake May outside of Calvin Ridley, who's really a good, reliable, somebody you want to know. Yes, they drafted a wide receiver. I want to say in the fourth round out of Stanford, Eric Alemanior. I want to say your name might be, my bro. Apologize to your parents, to you, to your ancestors if I butchered your name. Shout out to you. Make a name for yourself so the next time I speak on you, I don't have to, mess up your name. But shout out to the boy, rookie, playing against Gonzo as a cornerback one or Carlton Davis. Gonna be a tough, tough, tough day. Offensive line, I thought would be a lot better, but they have shown their true colors, and what's on tape and what's on the field is the reality of situation. Vrabel against a rookie probably is going to bring some pressure. I mean, he was bringing pressure against Gino. He likes to blitz. We'll see what happens there. They do have some rushers that even without blitzing should be getting home. And they have some other guys like a Jack Gibbons. They have a Harold Landry coming back as well. So they have a couple other pieces that are coming back to Tennessee to want their revenge as well. That could lead the players in the locker room before Vrabel even has to say anything, for it to be for Vrabel. And in this one, it could even be a dominant victory. Yeah, let's keep it moving. Dolphins at 1-5 against Cleveland Browns at 1-5. We are rocking with the Cleveland Browns. No, I cannot show you guys the script yet. Talk about the script. What a script has it been for the Cleveland Browns so far? Going from, where do we start? Do we start with the top of the jersey back in Tim Crouch days? Let's not. Let's start off with Deshaun Watson. Even since then, how many quarterbacks have came through? Yeah, that kind of puts them in perspective. Yeah. In this one, we are rocking out with the Browns at home. I think lefty on lefty matchup. We're rocking with Dylan Gabriel. I just don't have anything to say about Miami. I hope Darren Waller scores a touchdown, maybe two, maybe three. Um, you know, Waddle, is he looking to be traded? He should be, but I don't think he will, at least not right now. So will they trade him and Tyreek in the offseason? Probably not. So unfortunately, maybe Jalen Waddle does get stuck there. Maybe his ambitions have kind of gone to the wayside once 100+ million kind of started kicking in. You're still living in Florida. You're playing football. Like, the wins and losses are part of the game, so maybe you just don't care anymore. And this is all speculation, by the way. Allegedly, like, there's no reports or anything. I am just speculating all on my own. So I do not want to be sued, but yeah, that is just my thoughts. For the Browns, unfortunately, no David Njoku, but I think Fanning Jr. has taken positive stride. David Njoku being a Pro Bowl tight end, I think Fanning has showed if you were to move on from him, you do have somebody that could possibly very soon take over that mantle. And after losing Deshaun Watson's contract, they're gonna want to kind of restructure that whole team, especially with the amount of money that Myles Garrett's making currently. So yeah, I think in this one, Browns at home. Shout out to Cleveland. You come out on top. Dolphins, maybe on the way backfire. Mike McDaniel. But like I've mentioned since I want to say week 2, he doesn't get fired until on the way back from my Madrid, which, like I've always said, should have been Raiders' first game. And talk about the Raiders. You gotta go there now. It is the Raiders. It is Kansas City. It is a divisional matchup, and in this one, for quick take sake, we're rocking with Kansas City. Yes, it pains me to say because you already know what it is. You already know what the colors is. You already know how we rocking. You already know what we roll with. Red Nation, do not question me. You already know where we're at right now. But unfortunately, in this one, I just don't think we can. No Colton Miller, no Brock Bowers, no Jacoby Myers. Yeah, offensively, we need to put up some point, any point to win. Like, could it be a tie? Maybe. Um, we've seen that between the Cowboys and Packers. So between them, we have already seen a tie. We do not want that again. Yes, I would rather lose than have a tie record, especially against Kansas City. Um, yeah, and in this one, unfortunately, while I do want to go where the heart is, unfortunately, for quick takes, it is not where home is. So yes, we're rocking with KC. Not gonna say it again. Um, yeah, Rice's return. That kind of does hinder us a little bit. I don't know why it had to be against us. Next week we have a bye. Why not just bring him back next week? But hey, all right, all right. Um, like I mentioned, no Brock Bowers, no Myers, no Miller. Going to be a tough game. The run game for us, I think that's going to be the biggest factor. Anytime we have won up there, it's been, a very, very strong running game that's kind of just carried us all the way through. Quarterback doesn't really turn the ball over. Maybe he has 150 yards. Doesn't even really need that. Just one touchdown, no picks, no fumbles, a clean game. And then the defense did their thing. Can they do it again? Gotta see how it goes. Jalen Moore did held up really, really well last week. This week with Max Crosby coming in, gotta see how Juwan Taylor does not get flagged at all today. Will I be surprised? Going up against Max Crosby, if he's not getting any flags, I will be. But it is the Kansas City Chiefs, so you never know how the referees are feeling. For me, I am still optimistic. I People call me delusional at some points. Maybe I am, but at this point of the season, I think if this game is competitive, we still have a lot more to go. Um, Everything's ahead of us. Like I said, bye week next week, kind of reassess yourself there. Even at 2-5, there's still a lot more football to be played. If you go and just lay down, you're not going to come up. But if you go out there and fight, you always give yourself a chance. The intriguing matchup for us in this one is usually when we play up in Kansas City. Travis Kelce just murked us. I still remember that time when he had six catches, 29 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like, why? What? Like, those type of situations should not be happening. But in this one, I think as he is regressing, and I don't want to argue with you, Kansas City Chiefs fan, he is great. Top 3 tight ends of all time, without a question. Unfortunately, he is regressing because nobody stays the same forever. And for that, we also do have some pieces that finally might kind of match up. Not completely. Nobody's stopping Travis Kelce, but slow it down a little bit. Get like Coach Carroll has mentioned, get physical with him at the start of the line, at the line of scrimmage, just so him and Travis, him and Patrick are off, the rhythm that they usually have. Always doesn't matter where they are. Boom, they're always in rhythm, always connected. Just have to disrupt that rhythm. Just can't let them get connected. There's guys like a Chin in the back end. There is Jamal Adams. There is a Devin White that I feel decently comfortable with in coverage in this one. We had Merrick who did decent job. It's always done as a committee, so I hope that's done as a committee. The speed that they are gonna have today against Kai Blue Kelly, I think he's gonna get picked over and over and over and over again, and it's gonna determine how he does not get benched, but he probably still might not. Yeah, like I said, possibly a delusional Raider fans. Just I'm trying to stay optimistic, guys. Just trying to stay optimistic. Keeping it moving. It is the Indianapolis Colts at 5-1 taking on Los Angeles Chargers at 4-2, and in this one, I'm having the Chargers go 5-2. Unfortunately, yes, I think the Colts are going to come back to the West Coast and lose again. Um, in the same building, I think it was 2 weeks ago. They already lost to the Rams. Unfortunately, in this one, I think they might. I'm not saying they would. They will. I think they might, and we are rocking with the might. Uh, Essentially, in this one, like I mentioned, 5-1 team, 4-2 on the other side. They're both great teams. But for the Chargers defense, they are getting back Khalil Mack. and Denzel Perryman. Why do I bring that up? That helps their run game tremendously, tremendously, tremendously. And for Jonathan Taylor, the leading running back across the whole NFL, I think you don't stop him, obviously, like I just mentioned with Travis Kelce, but you could slow him down. Maybe he gets down to 70 yards, and now their offense becomes more one dimensional. Um, and now you kind of try to tee off. Talking about their defense, you are out of Charvarius Mooney on this one. Charvarius Mooney Ward in this one. But also on, Xavier Howard retiring earlier. So you do have Quentin Johnson, you do have Ladd McConkey, you do have Keenan Allen going up against a depleted cornerback room. Um, yeah, it should be a very, very, very fun matchup between these two quarterbacks at the level that they're playing between Herbo and Indiana Jones, I guess. And yeah, it might be a close one. I hope it's a really, really fun one. I hope it gets down to possibly a game-winning field goal. I hope essentially Colts win, so they go 6-1. Division becomes a lot more clear and easier for us with the Chargers loss. Talk about the division. Let's keep it moving. New York Giants going all the way to Denver, taking on those Broncos. Unfortunately, we are taking on the division in this one as well, in the Denver Broncos. In this one, got to rock out with the home field there. Giants, rookie quarterback. I think it's going to be tough for him, but if they're able to establish that run, anything could happen. No, I did not think they could beat the Chargers on the road. They did, or Chargers at home, but they did bring it up. And like I mentioned, however, it was possibly backed a little bit by their fan base. This one, Denver's fan base is going to be on them. Defense is going to be energized with Dre Greenlaw. They have like good juju going on, good vibes going on with DT's Hall of Fame, Denver's Ring of Fame or Ring of Hall of Fame, whatever, however they phrase it. Getting in there, shout out to the family. Yeah, I think whoever establishes the run, Dobbins, he's been solid, but I don't think he has established himself the way Denver would like him to. He's similar to what Javonte Williams was giving them, and they wanted more. So we'll see what happens there. Giants gotta boom, gotta see how he comes through, but not having Darius Slayton after not having Malik Neighbor against a PS2, yeah, Giants offense is gonna suffer. Packers at the Cardinals, talking about an offense that is suffering. No quarterback, no running back. Cardinals are suffering terribly. This one, I'll rock out with the Packers. You have uh, Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs on one side. Um, you have Michael Parsons running with that defense on the other. No Luke Van Ness, no Devontae Wyatt. Does kind of stick with me defensively because I think Cardinals defense, no matter how their offense looks anemic, is underrated tremendously from the trenches all the way out to the defensive backs. Buda Baker, I feel sorry for him, but he wants to retire a one club man, so hopefully they figure something out. Like I mentioned, I think it's time for possibly breaking up with Kyler in the off season. So there's a lot more questions. I am not trusting the Cardinals against this season until they show me something somehow and get some momentum back on their side. Moving on, Commanders at the Cowboys, another one of our divisional matchups. This one, I think I am rocking out with the Cowboys in this one. At home, DQ returning, probably in practice. Brian Schottenheimer's offense took on Dan Quinn's defense a lot when Mike McCarthy, shout out to coach, was the coach down there. So yeah, I think there's guys that switch sides like a Dorrance Armstrong that was a former Cowboy, now is the leading sack artist up in Washington. So there's underlying those type of stories like that. Dak has been playing phenomenal. He's been mobile. Uh, I don't know what else to say. I hope that offensive line for the Cowboys is back healthy. Should have double checked on that. But yeah, I mean, they have been able to run the ball with uh, their new running back, even though they lost, Rico Dowdle, the committee with Miles Sanders, with Javonte Williams. Unfortunately, Miles Sanders is done for the season. You have Jadon Blue, who might take on RB2 role. We'll see how that comes through. But like I said, Javonte Williams there. You have CeeDee Lamb returning. You have George Pickens. Jonathan Mingo, does he play? People forget that he's there. If he comes back healthy, does he, become a integral part of the offense where he can become a three-headed monster? And then fourth with the Ferguson. So, with all that being said, a fun actually one last thing I do want to mention is the cornerback group for the Washington Commanders. It's a fun group. You have a veteran in Marshawn Lattimore. You have a rookie in Trey Amos, and you know they create that room that's actually a really fun one, along with Mike Sainstro. There we are. Took me a second, but we got there. Who's also relatively young as well. Um, but like I mentioned, not having all that weapon, being in the division, uh, I think the wins that they picked up against the Raiders early on season with Marcus Mariota, and then the one after again, those type of wins are gonna help them out, kind of see these type of games through. And we keep it moving. It is gonna be Sunday Night Football. It is in the Bay. It is the Falcons after Monday Night Football taking on the Niners. And in this one, I'm rocking out with the Falcons. Yes, I'm going up against the Bay in this one. Bijan against CMC. I think over the last year and a half, you could argue that Bijan's been a better running back, better player, and everything. Yes, it is due to the injuries for CMC, but we bring and mention injuries with CMC essentially every season, along with all of his teammates in the Niners. It's like he brought his injury bug with him, whatever it is, and he is, spreading it every season. Like somebody's bound to go down. Talking about somebody's bound to go down. Unfortunately, Fred Warner went down last week. One of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker in the game. Uh, Prayers out to him. Hopefully, he comes back even better, which is going to be hard to do because the level that he was playing at. No Purdy, no Pearshaw, no IU. It's Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. And in that one, yeah, I think Michael Penix is against Mac Jones. I'll take Washington in that one. This is not Alabama. Defense travels. I do want to mention the Falcons defense under Jeff Ulbrich. Talk about Jeff Ulbrich. He is a former linebacker for the 49ers. So, is he coming back to get his revenge? For me, I think so. Like I mentioned, Bijan running the ball. You have a pretty good defense with AJ Terrell the way he was looking back to his former self after some injury riddled weeks early on in the season. He will be taking on whoever's left as a wide receiver one today, maybe Juwan Jennings. And then the rest of the group can just go out, do their things. They have some uh, very, very young guys that they added defensively that look like they're veterans. They added two first round rookies. Jalen Walker, unfortunately, is out of this one with groin injury, I do believe. Um, but their trenches should still be solid. You do still have Watts in the back end along with my guy Jesse Bates. So yeah, Falcons. I think with also the actually let's go back a little bit farther. Going back to Washington, you have Raheem Morris there. You have Kyle Shanahan there. The tree that they come down from the Papa Mike Shanahan tree. Um, yeah, there's a very deep history there. Then you go out down to LA. The stint as the Rams defensive coordinator for Raheem Morris probably had Liam Cohen as a like a coworker, as a friend, a confidant. So does that beef from Cohen and Salah kind of get extrapolated into this game? That is why the underlying storylines in the NFL is always, always, always fun. Um, Kyle Pitts, is he gonna, show up? Jake London showed out last week, showed up and showed out on prime time last week. Is it time for Kyle Pitts to step up? Like I mentioned, no Dre Greenlaw anymore, no Hufanga anymore. Unfortunately, with the Warner injury, there might be a kink in the armor in that defense for the San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Pitts go out, do his thing there. The London gets Lenore matchup should be fun to see. And the best and biggest part of them all, the biggest little kid out there on the football field, George Kittle. He is back. We are just happy the boy is back. I hope he just stays healthy. Like I mentioned, I hope everybody stays healthy across the league. Raiders, do your thing. And until tomorrow, I hope y'all have a fantastic day. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. And you already know what it is. Love.